Namaste, everybody. Welcome back to another year at Ripples in the Sand, the podcast brought to you by the folks at Drifting Sands Haibun. As you may be aware, we've been quite busy with some changes at Drifting Sands, which you can read and you should read at our website. So I apologize for this late podcast. This is your host, Sangita. To our regular listeners, thank you so much for supporting us. Hope you have subscribed to our YouTube channel and hit the notification bell. Please like, share, and spread the word of haikai poetry to your friends. For this episode, we have an extra special treat for you. The volunteer team of Drifting Sands Haibun has put together 2 sessions of poetry for you, and the year starts off with the first installment. So sit back, relax, get a good hot cuppa, and have a listen to some lovely Haibun. We start with a reading by Pris, who is an award-winning poet writing both free verse and short forms. She's been published in a variety of journals and anthologies over the years. She has over 10 poetry books to her name. A former clinical psychologist, sailor, and bicyclist, she was sidelined by a neuroimmune illness in 1990 and lives quite a life now in South Florida. She is the social media correspondent for Drifting Sands. Here is Pris with Searching for Home.
Searching for home. An envelope pops up. My late 60s Hawaiian address. Waikiki was still a wide breach, filled with Roman hula dancers and coconut-sweetened drinks at open bars. I pretend I'm in white again, rushing out from the chapel beneath the Navy sword arc. My husband's war-weary fellow officers revel in this ceremony after their ship's brief return to Pearl Harbor from Vietnam. The clock on the wall already fast forwards towards him dead. Me, my hair white as a gown. Salted sea air. We make love on that sagging mattress.
Next, we have our founder, Richard Grant. Richard grew up a country boy in southern Wisconsin and later on in southern Maine. The 40-acre hayfield in Maine, bordered by shoreline and woods, fostered his sense of adventure and innovation, along with his appreciation of nature. A casual writer for most of his adult life, it took a life-threatening combination of mental and physical illness to train his attention on the written word, both artistically and for its healing properties. His Haibun and Tanka prose works have appeared in many online and print journals, and he is a founding editor of the journal The Abstractophy Initiative. He's also the author of Longevity, Poems in the Key of Helen. We have a reading by him in the January 2023 episode of Ripples in the Sand. Do have a listen there if you haven't already. Richard is also the founder and the main tech guru at Drifting Sands Haibun. Here is Richard with his poem Vanity.
Vanity. I splash my face and fumble for a towel. Sleepy shadow. Staring into the mirror, I revisit my present self. Whiskers have returned, wrinkles all seem in place, hair still disappearing. A pondering man looks back at me. I grin shyly, recognizing him as the reflection I met in yesterday's mirror. A calm overcomes me as I leave the old man to reflect, hoping he'll be there tomorrow.
After that wonderful reading by Richard, we have Reid Hepworth. She is a Pushcart Prize and Touchstone Award nominated poet. Her work has been published in journals and anthologies internationally. A former associate editor at Triveni Haikai India, she is currently the associate editor for Drifting Sands Haibun. Reid's first book of poetry, Loss is a River, was published by Adisakrit Publishing in 2024. Here is Reid with her poem Triggers.
Hello, this is Reid Hepworth reading Triggers, published by Ribbons, Volume 20, Number 1, Spring 2024. Triggers. Without warning, they niggle to the surface, tiny transient flickers of memory that most would have forgotten years ago. Every house on the street lit up except ours. How easy it is to turn a blind eye. At the time, I told myself to remember every little detail so that I wouldn't repeat the same mistakes. Never forget. This was my mantra. Now all that I want to do is forget. Ashes from a burning cigarette smolder. The trail of casualties you've left behind. Thank you.
Next, we have a reading by Pris of her poem Dreamer, and this is immediately followed by her poem Miss Lonely Hearts.
Dreamer. Broken diamonds fill the sky. Wild horses thunder past on the beach. Surf drenches my calves. I want him back, but the gulls cry, no, no, as they flap across the fading horizon. His loss washes over me until I want to give up, be carried helplessly out to sea with the mermaids. I collapse into the tidal pools until the sky turns pink again. Dying starfish wash up to shore. His ash settles over me, warming me. Autumn winds, the empty nest blows away. Miss Lonely Hearts. Hugh Lowry, oh Hugh Larry, hear my plea. Come play house, kiss me hard. The covers are pulled back and ready. Open those blue eyes wide in adoration. Eyes bluer than Paul's or Frank's, the sky. No competition there. Your mailbox must be crammed every day, rooms littered with love notes. I move like a speeding train well past 70, but am still lusty and ready to go. Tell you what, Hugh, I'll dim the lights. A blanket can cover the body men once thought or fought over sometimes. I look in the mirror and weep. Help me, Hugh. Give this old broad a break. Show up and love me for one night. I'll look for your reply into my potted plant. Check the stars for messages. Have your piano waiting under a cup of hot tea. Hugh, oh please come by before they drag me off to the retirement home. Dead men whisper romantic words in my ear. Yellow roses and sweet aching songs have gone with the butterflies.
We now have a reading by Richard of his poem Reincarnation, immediately followed by his poem First Hand.
Reincarnation. Hope is the thing with feathers. Emily Dickinson. Serena strolls down the sidewalk, thumbing through her treasured collection of Emily Dickinson poems, not unlike a typical teenager scrolling through their Facebook feed. She studies the rhyme, cadence, and metaphors woven into the lines, reaching inside for the essence entwined in the fluid strokes of Emily's pen. She skips over cracks in the pavement, conscious of each click of her steps. To her, the air is fresh and crisp. To her, the sky is a never-before-seen shade of blue. The music of songbirds from a nearby oak merges with the taste of the syllables on her lips. The words hold her hands, guide her through the city to the river's edge. Each moment, a new possibility to ponder. Each breath, another lifetime to live. Bird's eye view, the glow of a rising moon, branch to branch. First hand. Each bud opens to its first day, a leaf dancing with the sun like a lover. A soft spring sky hovers over the valley. The rain has come and gone. Without a care in the world, she's skipping through a puddle, her clothes still wet from the downpour. You see, there's nothing quite like seeing your first rainbow.
Next, we have Reid with her poem Calm Before the Storm.
Hello, this is Reid Hepworth reading Calm Before the Storm, published by Contemporary Haibun Online, issue 20.2, August 2024. Calm Before the Storm. Stella's mum screams, "Stop that nonsense!" just as the pool collapses. 9,000 gallons of water and 6 to 8 neighborhood kids, feet and legs akimbo, as we whoosh by lawn chairs, break through the neighbor's fence, and end up in a haphazard pile 2 houses down in Mr. MacGyver's veggie patch. Summer's end. The sudden stillness of starlings. Summer's end. The sudden stillness of starlings. Thank you.
Lastly, we have yours truly. Reid Hepworth has kindly introduced me.
Crafting poetry and fiction, Sangita Calarickle is a widely published wordsmith. Her chapbook, Mamina, showcases free verse poetry and haikai form. Her work has been nominated for the Touchstone Award, Pushcart Prize, and recently the Women Empowered Group conferred the Gifted Poet Award on her. Dr. Sangita Calarickle is currently the editor-in-chief of Drifting Sands Haibun Journal, and she hosts the podcast Ripples in the Sand. Here she is, reading her poem, Strophic Form of Never-Ending Wars.
This is Sangita Calarickle reading The Strophic Form of Never-Ending Wars, published in Ribbon's Spring-Summer issue of 2024. The Strophic Form of Never-Ending Wars. The congregation starts the final song of the evening, Ticha notes. My ears prick up at the opening bars of the carol. The slow tempo fills the church. I whip out my phone and bring out the entire song for my daughter and I to sing along. 3 stanzas later we finish, the congregation singing in Slovak and my daughter and I, the only non-Catholics in that mass, belting out the song in English, tears flowing down my cheeks at Sleep in Heavenly Peace. The world sings of angels and a newborn, Bethlehem sky, bleeds bombs. I hope you have enjoyed listening to the reading from some of the DSH team. We will later in the year return with some more poems by our team. All the publication credits for the poems that were read in this episode are given in the show notes. If you've enjoyed this episode of Ripples in the Sand, please subscribe to the podcast and share on social media. The music in this episode is by Richard Grant. This podcast is produced by Richard Grant, and this is Sangita Colorico signing off.